Well, it's a frosty day in Cape Town today, and a big welcome to everyone around the world who's joined us this evening. Fantastic to have everyone here. And we're going to be joined this evening by some remarkable guests. And I think we're going to go down memory lane today. Joining us from Israel is going to be Ashley Lazarus. And I hope Ashley has turned on his phone or his computer. He seems to have a major setup. I'm sitting in the semi-dark. And Gerald Berman joins us from London. Ashley, when last did you see Gerald?
Must be over 30 years ago. Hi, Gerald.
Gerald, we need to get you off mute. So I'm going to ask Gerald to unmute.
I can't see Gerald.
He's a fine-looking gentleman with a white beard, but he's on mute. I'm asking him to unmute his. Now, Gerald, I'm afraid you're still on mute.
Tap your ear.
No, you're on mute. Gerald, go off and come back again. Can't hear you, so I'm not sure what you're saying, but log off and come back and join us. So Ashley, this is 50 years since a lollipop.
Yeah, can't believe it. It's unbelievable. What?
And
And we're still going.
when this all began, did you think that 50 years later people would still want to watch this movie?
I had no clue. Um, at the time we understood that we hoped that we'd get an audience, and that's a very interesting story as we'll go into it later. But I've heard that it's rerun on South African television quite often. So quite a few young people have come on, and you can't imagine. I don't know if you've looked on YouTube, but the volume of comments from all over the world coming in, even this last 2 weeks, people are still commenting because the film touched them emotionally. And so, no, I had no clue that it would last this long.
Gerald has joined us again, but he's still on mute. So Gerald, somewhere you have a microphone and you've pushed the mute button. So if there's anywhere you can unmute yourself.
Can you tap your ear so he understands what you?
At the moment I can do that, but I presume that's Mrs. Gerald, and you guys are on mute, so we're trying to just unmute you.
Are they muted on your side by any chance, Howard?
No. I can request him to unmute, which I keep on doing, but that's unfortunately so far not happening.
If he's on a computer, the mute button is, I think, on the left side.
Yeah, I think he's on an iPad or something like that. Technology not so easy.
Yep.
Let me quickly send him a message.
His wife, by the way, was the art director on a lollipop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's an artist, a very fine artist.
I've just asked him if he can find an unmute button. Well, while he does that, Ash, where in the world are you joining us from?
I'm halfway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem in a town called Ramat Beit Shemesh, which is, as they call, a soft landing for Anglos in Israel. It's a community with a lot of South Africans, a lot of English, a lot of Americans, and now a lot of Israelis. It's growing very fast. So I'm about 45 minutes to Jerusalem, 45 minutes to Tel Aviv. And thank God I'm living close to both my daughters. And all the grandchildren are sort of, the married ones are, except for one who's in Swat, are all around us. So, you know, we're back in the ghetto and it's terrific.
And was it searingly hot today? There's been a major heat wave in Israel.
It's been insanely hot. Today wasn't quite as hot, but yeah, it's, the summer's hit us, and thank God for air conditioning.
So I see George is asking, he says, hello, all, can you see me? And George, we definitely can't see you, but that's because you're in the audience. You're not on the stage. The only people at the moment on the stage are myself and Ashley. So I hope you can see us, and I hope you can see the movie that we're going to be showing, but you definitely shouldn't be, we shouldn't be able to see you. And if we did, something would be terribly, terribly wrong. So,
Okay,
so
ask him if that's George Willis.
well, you can ask him if that's George Willis. I don't
Okay,
have.
George, is that you?
So George, let us know which George it is, so we can do
Yeah.
that. But we've been joined by people from around the world, and we always ask people where in the world they're joining us from. So we want to know from the people who are joining us, where are they from, and do they have memories of a lollipop from when they were younger? Because I think so many people saw it at various stages. I know I was a kid at King David, and King David showed it to in primary school to everyone. And I think there are multiple generations of people who've actually seen the movie. It's not just one generation, it's multiple generations. So Val said she's in London. Val, did you ever see the movie? And if so, what did you think? And can you believe that it's 50 years since this all began? And George says, thank you, appreciate the connection. Yes, it's me, George Willis, and I have many, many memories. So Ashley, tell us who George Willis is.
Okay, George Willis is president of the Canadian Cinematographers Association. He's risen right through the ranks. He started with me in Cape Town. He originally was an art director in advertising, and he wanted to switch to film. And he came and worked with me for multiple years. And he was what they call the first assistant on the camera on a lollipop. And there's a really cute story with George. We hired a top American cinematographer called Arthur Ornitz. And Arthur Ornitz had done Serpico and Death Wish, heavyweight Hollywood type lighting cameraman. And I convinced him to come and do this little lightweight film in South Africa. And Arthur Ornitz was a very tough cookie. Just to give you an example, the first shoot, we had to shoot this woman carrying the child down the mountain, and we shot it early in the morning, very low light with snow on the ground on a very long lens, and you could hardly get light into the camera. And I'm a trained cameraman, and I looked at Arthur, and he called an f-stop or a t-stop, which is the number that you call on the lens, that was way off anything George and I had ever heard. It like was underexposed by maybe 3 or 4 stops. I think George will corroborate. And I sort of looked at it, and I said, Arthur, and then George said, sir. And Arthur turned around and said, you don't sir me. That's the stop. And I went like this. I said, he's the cameraman. He's the lighting cameraman. He's responsible. What we didn't know, Arthur was processing the film in New York, and there was a new process called push and pull, where you hook the negative in a technical way that we South Africans had no idea about. So when he shot at a stop that was irresponsible to us, the end result was superb. And from then on, George looked at me, and I looked at George. We said, yes, sir, whatever the directing I'll do. The camera's yours. So that's the story. Right, George Willis?
And George says, great memory, Ashley. I remember it like it was yesterday.
There's
So
another story that relates to him with me. So I'm a rookie director. It's my first feature film. And Andre Peterson, the producer, had given me the chance. We'll go into that later. But so we're shooting the first dialogue scene with Jose Ferrer, who's an Academy Award actor, Oscar actor, and an actress called Bess Finney. And we're shooting in the mission station a dialogue sequence. And I set it up. It's called blocking. And so the actors play their roles, the camera moves. And then I hand it over to the lighting cameraman now to light the set after we've what we call blocked it. And we rehearsed and we rehearsed. And Arthur Orner stood up with his cigar and very loudly said, it's a bucket full of C.R. Ashley. And the whole crew just froze. And I'd read in a book that you don't take any BS from any crew member. The director has the final call, right or wrong. And if you're a good director, you listen to everybody. So I said to Arthur in a quiet voice, Arthur, could I see you outside for a minute, please? So we go outside. And I say to him, listen, Arthur, I'm very happy for you to comment and give me comments. But the way you did it in there is totally unacceptable. If you do that to me again, you back on an aeroplane and I'll light the film. And he looked at me and he said some comment and I lost it. I picked him up. He's a small man. I picked him up and his face is at my face. He's got a cigar. He takes the cigar and he blows in my face and he says, just testing you, young man. Just testing you. What he was doing. You know, and I realized he had to rely on a director to do his job well. And he wanted to see if I had the steel or what you'd call double whatever to handle the set with strength. He said, well done. It's a great scene.
So actually, Belinda says, Ashley, do you remember a child model by the name of Belinda Geffen? I had a brother and a sister who also modeled for you.
Very long time ago. It's a hazy memory, but I do.
Cool, fantastic. And Megan says, Shalom out of Cyprus, on holiday for a week with my gorgeous granddaughter in idyllic Azure Mediterranean Sea. So, Megan, we also want to know, did you see a lollipop and what did you think? And Johnny says Beverly Hills, and he remembers the movie. Val Liss said she cried her way through it 50 years ago, and she expects to cry it again tonight. And Graham says Sid Utah trained the dogs.
Exactly right. Sid Utah, it was his mother who did the training. He managed the dog.
Okay. And Melanie says, hi, the movie had a profound influence on my life. Leora says it's her favorite movie ever.
That's amazing. Thank you. You know,
So
we set out.
Please go.
We set out to, maybe we can go into it now, maybe afterwards, as why we made it in such a way that everybody would cry, especially children. But maybe we'll deal with that later.
Let's talk about that because there are two different endings to the movie depending where you saw it. So let's talk about that after 7 o'clock. We're going to go live in 1 minute or so. We're busy doing pre-chat. And Gerald, unfortunately, you're still on mute. I wish there was a way that I could unmute you, but the most I can do is press the ask to unmute button. But Ashley, tell us about Gerald, saying he can't tell us himself.
Gerald, I I absolutely love Gerald and his wife. Gerald was a producer, a production man, and I believe he worked for Kalani Film Studios at the time, or a film company in Johannesburg. And I saw a movie that he had, what we call line produced. He's the administrator that runs the train, sees everything gets on time, handles the budget. He's the absolute rock anchor of a movie. So I phoned Gerald, and I believe he was in a hotel in Cape Town when I connected with him, and I said, would you like to make this little film in Lesotho with me? And at times, I think he got really frustrated with me, because as a rookie director, you're as protective as hell about everything you're doing. Things can go wrong. And so Gerald had the patience of an angel. And he managed the whole film. I remember him coming to one day and talking about this cameraman who was quite a character. He said, Ashley, Arthur's asked for a special diet. I said, well, it's not the director, but what's the diet? He says he wants fresh lobsters delivered in the Lesotho Mountains, please. I mean, what? Gerald, if you can get fresh lobsters, get fresh lobsters. I'm sure Gerald remembers the story. He was quite a character, Arthur Ornitz. And so Gerald and I was sort of looking at this tough New York cameraman, and both of us I think we learned a bit. I think we really learned a bit. He certainly taught me a hell of a lot.
So George Wernless says, please say hello to Gerald from me. Great respect. And Brenda and Ralph say, I sat on my mom's lap the whole movie and I sobbed my little heart out. I still remember it clearly. Thanks for the memories. And Craig says he's in Cape Town. What an incredible movie. The storyline had such an impact on me. Thank you for being a beacon of light of our generation. And Robert Willis says, Gerald, I remember you from the old days in Highlands North. And Georgina says, I cried my eyes out in Rockville. The things are moving too fast. I can't even keep up. But I cried my eyes out, and it was the very first time I saw my dad cry. Very profound memories. And BH says, grew up in Cape Town in Rockville since 1982. Have no memories of this movie. I'm so looking forward to it. And David Seif says, hi, I'm an AI assistant helping David Seif. Well, clearly that's not David Seif. And Carol also has an AI assistant. And Toby says that she was too young. So, Gerald, I'm going to put you on hold because unfortunately I just can't speak to Gerald. But the time has just gone 7 p.m. South Africa time, and a huge welcome to everyone who's watching us this evening. We've got such an amazing evening planned tonight, and I think it's going to be so nostalgic for so many people who are going to be watching us this evening. So a big welcome to everyone around the world who is watching us, and it's an absolute great privilege to have Ashley Lazarus talking to me this evening. Ashley, a big welcome. You talking to us from Israel. But before we speak to you, just a reminder to everyone that the latest edition of the Jewish Report is out. Please go pick up your hard copy. There are about 33,000 people who read us in hard copy every week. And this is, of course, a broadcast of the South African Jewish Report, brought to you this evening, our 171st broadcast by the South African Jewish Report. The latest edition of the Jewish Report is out. You can go read about Ronald Lamola and the stance that South Africa is taking on the Middle East and whether it's going to change or not. But also one of my favorite stories of the week is Robbie Brosen, who ran with the Olympic My apologies. We're having such technical issues tonight. It is unbelievable. And this just kicked me or kicked me out of Zoom. So I have no idea why why it's actually doing this. But I was just saying there's an edition of the Jewish Report out this week. Robbie Burrows and Running with Olympic Torch. I've written a tribute to Dr. Ruth. And you can also go read about whether South Africa is changing the nuance on its relationship or not relating to Israel and the Middle East. If you haven't picked up a copy of the Jewish Report, you can go read us online on sajr.co.za. And if you'd like to see any of our webinars, in particular any of our past webinars, don't forget we have a webinar tag, a tab on the Jewish Report, sajr.co.za, or you can go onto YouTube. And very, very important for us this evening, very important indeed, is the fact that nominations are open for the Jewish Achiever Awards. In our first few days, we received 150 nominations in the first few days for the APSA Jewish Achiever Awards. Please go look on our website, look in the latest edition of the Jewish Report, and you can go and nominate people in 10 categories. We've got business icon and business leadership and professional excellence and entrepreneur, and we've got community service and humanitarian and lifetime achiever and art, sports, science, and culture. And we've got a humanitarian award and one of our favorite new awards, the Rising Star Award, for someone under the age of 25 who's making a huge difference in the country in which they live. So please go and nominate people for Jewish Achiever Awards. And Ashley Lazarus, a big welcome to you this evening. We're expecting to cry tonight. Is that a realistic expectation?
I from past history, absolutely yes. So get your tissues out.
So take us back 50 years ago. This entire concept, we're in the midst of apartheid. Black kids and white kids are not supposed to be friendly. And yet this movie comes out that really shocks the very foundations of apartheid. A story of friendship and love and brotherhood between a white kid and a black kid at a time where that sort of thing just was unheard of. Tell us how it all began.
Right. Well, I, for many years, had been making cinema commercials that were screened on South African cinema. We didn't have television in those days. So I sort of founded with Anton Rupert a form of entertainment in cinemas. And we made very dramatic and entertaining cinema commercials for brands like Peter Stuyvesant and Mainstay and Dunhill and Lexington. And they were entertaining films. And at that time, the film cinemas were managed by two companies, and one of them was managed by a man called Andre Pieterse, and they, of course, distributed the films and made a hang of a lot of money for the distribution for those adverts. Now, Andre was a fan of those commercials, and we became friends. And one day I got a call from Andre. We happened to be in London, and he said, "I want to see you, please." So I went to tea with Andre, and we were sitting together. He said, "Listen, Ashley, I've got a bit of a legend and a personal story. Those two things together, I think, could make a movie." So he told me the story that was a legend of a couple that were going over the mountains, an Afrikaans couple, and somehow something happens and the truck goes off the cliff, and the child is taken by the nanny and taken to a mission station, grows up at a mission station. That's part of the shorish, the source of the movie. The other part is that Andre himself was saved by a little black boy. And this is what happened. He was galloping on a horse which went out of control. And apparently a friend of his, a little black child, leapt onto the horse and pulled it to help him. And the horse's hoof hit the child. And the child was wound-festered, and unfortunately the child passed away. So in Andre's own life, he'd had, as a white child, a black child who had done something to help him and save his life and lost his life. So he gave me the opportunity, for which I'm eternally grateful. He said, "Ashley, do you think you could take this and write a screenplay that will emotionally allow us to look into what apartheid, you see, in those days, apartheid wasn't all hate, as most South Africans know. I mean, I grew up in Zululand. My father was a doctor. He started the first black clinic in Zululand. He said there were enough doctors for white people. So he started a clinic for black people, and they nicknamed him Dr. Jabula, Dr. Happiness. He was beloved by the Zulus. So I grew up playing with all the little black kids. So did Andre. He's an Afrikaner. I'm a Jewish kid in Zululand, or on the edge of Zululand. And those are our experiences. There was no hate. And on the average of South Africa at the time, on the underbelly, it was, oh, Kunjani Mabas. Oh, how are you? Oh, Zungozi. We were friends. I mean, and apartheid was at the political level. So Andre was a bit nervous about the film. He was certainly nervous about the censor board. And so I sat down and I took the legend and Andre's story and I worked it into a screenplay, bouncing off Andre all the time. And fundamentally, we came up with the story of this child who's abandoned in an orphanage. And I sat down and I said, why are we making this film? It's one thing to make entertainment. And yes, this is entertainment. But we're in a situation where there's enough criticism of apartheid. The whole world was going against us at the time. There were very few voices that was banking the positive side of South Africa. And I said to myself, if I set a strategic goal that I can make the film in such a way that we fall in love with the two children, and then the movie goes along and you're in love with the two kids and they play with each other, they're naughty with each other, and then something happens that the black child goes out of his way to save the life of the white child. And I don't want to give away the ending directly, but my goal.
Well, let's wait. People are going to be seeing it tonight, so people will do it. But Ashley, you mentioned something interesting because you said you were making commercials, and I think for many people who grew up in kind of the 70s and 80s, your commercials were the quintessential commercials. They were lifestyle commercials. They were commercials that everyone wanted to be part of. And I want to just show two of your commercials because I think so many people watching will remember the catchphrases, the catch lines, and the visuals from some of those commercials. So let's just look at two of your commercials and let's see what people think.
Okay, that would be interesting.
Welcome to the Republic of Sunshine, a state dedicated to the pursuit of awesomeness. In the Republic, we enjoy only two seasons, incredible and out of this world. Here, every single body is one color, bronze. This is our capital city, a little place we call paradise. The income per capita, whatever we catch.
You can stay as you are for the rest of your life. Yeah, you can stay as you are for the rest of your life. Or you can change. Or you can change to mainstay.
Ashley, absolutely iconic. An entire generation believed they could stay as they were for the rest of their lives, or they could change to mainstay.
Exactly.
Let's just watch one more.
Okay, I just want to put the record straight that this is the format that I formed, and this was a follow-up director that took my format and continued it, but I'm underneath that format, so I want to give credit to that director as well. Okay, move on to the next one.
Cool. It started.
Can you hear the sound?
I can. Let me just check if people can hear the
You hear-
sound. 1 second. Let me just start that again.
Because the sound is vital.
Let's start that.
When it's sunup in Malibu, it's midnight in Monte Carlo. When Rio strips for the day, LA rides the high-rolling sky. If you seek snow with Go, ski hop the Alps from chalet to peak. Or play the world wherever the urge hits you. In Saint-Tropez, you sport the bare necessities. And Ipanema wears a honey tan while you watch your man. Or race the Côte d'Azur. And chase the smiles all the way to Carnival, Brazil. Down under in the Red Sea, jet ride through a mirage of color. Get that wonderful Stuyvesant feeling, the pace of the young, fun world. From the snow runs of Flen to the coral reefs of the Red Sea. The vibrant and racy world of Peter Stuyvesant, the international passport to smoking pleasure.
Actually, some of the most iconic, maybe, adverts in South African history.
They were very popular. In fact, I was quite, at times I had this strange comment. A young man would come up to me and says, I don't like you. I really don't like you. Why don't you like me? He says, I go to the movies with my girlfriend and you show all these gorgeous guys. And I feel embarrassed. I'm not those guys.
They must have been enormously fun, though, to make.
They were amazing to make. The privilege of making them. I mean, I flew around the world 114 times by 1975. It wasn't just one brand. I mean, the story of Anton Rupert and Peter Stuyvesant is a hell of a story. Have you got a moment? Can I tell you a bit about that story?
Please. Absolutely.
Okay, so how did I get to make Peter Stuyvesant? Well, at the time I was a young filmmaker, I joined forces with a radio studio where there was a composer and they made radio commercials and radio plays. And I started a little film division and I had all the equipment to edit and project films. And Anton Rupert had this idea and he went to the cinema chains and said, let me buy the 2 minutes after the interval. So the curtains close and then they open and I want to entertain the audience. I mean, what I learned about branding from him was invaluable because his way of advertising was to give something to the audience, not take. Most of the commercials in those days on radio was all sell, 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 buy our product, buy our product. And he said, let's just entertain and give people something that they dream about, and then we'll connect our brand to it. It way ahead of its time. So he hired the top commercial filmmaker in Europe called André Sarrou. And he briefed André Sarrou. And André Sarrou would come from Europe to show him the films he had made. Now, in those days, you had to look at it on what they called double head. The film was on one machine and the soundtrack with sprockets were on the other machine. before you finished it. So you could run the film and you could edit it or change it. And I had the only edit room in Cape Town. So Saru would bring his films. I would be the editor, very quiet. And Andre and Rupert argued all the time. He would show him a film, brilliantly made, but it was totally off target. And Rupert would say, "You're not listening to me." And he said, "But let's take Peter Stuyvesant, the international passport to smoking pleasure. That's the essence of the brand." So what did Saru do? He hooked on the words international passport. So he made CinemaScope animated films of par avion stamps that were for air letters, stamps that went on aeroplanes. So he would take a stamp of a Y with palm trees and a speedboat, and he would animate the palm tree growing, the speedboat flying, and it was terrific animation. And it was animated, and it wasn't what Rupert wanted. This went on and on and on. So one day it got to a real head, and Anton Rupert walked out. I won't say stormed up, but he actually stormed out. He's a very gentle man, was. And he left. And Andre Saru turned to me and he said to me, "Ashley, the man is an idiot." He was French. And I don't know where I just looked at him. I said, "Andre, with respect, you are the idiot." He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "You're not listening to him. If you're working with a client as brilliant as he is, you should really listen to what he's saying." So he said, "I heard what he's saying. It's the international passport to smoking pleasure." I said, No. It's the international passport to pleasure. He wants to see the dream. Most South Africans couldn't afford to fly to Tahiti, to Hawaii, to go to Japan, to go to the Great Barrier Reef and to go to the Alps. It was a dream. You're not bringing the dream alive. You're hooked onto avion and aeroplanes. He said, "Really?" I said, "Really?" So he said, "You're not just an editor. I said, "No, actually, I'm an aspiring commercials director." So he said to me, "Have you got a reel of your commercials?" So I said, "Okay." So I ran it we had a theater, we ran it. He said, "Wow, you sort of know what you're doing." I said, "Well, trying." So he left. 3 hours later, I got a phone call from Stellenbosch, which is the headquarters of Anton Rupert. And his secretary says, "Andre Saru sitting here with Rupert. We phoned the local cinema and we want you to drive out now with your showreel, please, and to discuss what your perception of Peter Stuyvesant is." So I drove out and I run, and Rupert says to me, "What is Peter Stuyvesant?" So I said, "Well, your radio commercials are da, di, da, 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 da. This is the exciting world of Peter Stuyvesant. And you've got to bring the dream alive. You've got to have beautiful guys, beautiful girls, speedboats, wind sailing, jets flying off. You've got to paint the dream." So Andre Saru stands up, he says, "Mr. Rupert, I'm a very busy man in Europe. This young man seems to know what you want, and he's quite good at what he does. So goodbye, gentlemen. I'll leave it to both of you." I was 23 years old. So Rupert says to me, "Listen, I'm told by the then film studio in Johannesburg, you can't film chess pieces in close-up in Panavision or CinemaScope because the lenses don't work that close to tiny chess pieces." So I said, "That's not true. There's a new system called Technoscope, and I can get to pin needle on CinemaScope." So I said, "This is what I want you to do. I want you to make a film on Orly Airport, the pre-excitement of going to the world destinations. the people that you're describing in bright colors like the Peter Stuyvesant, I want you just to shoot the footage. And then secondly, I want you to go to these museums and shoot the history of chess with these magnificent chess pieces for my Odomeester brand, which is its branding is it's the quality of Odomeester is reflected in the quality of art, of beautiful things like chess pieces. Go away and shoot those and shoot Orly Airport. So I go off. But, you know, if you're going to go to heaven, you should go in a Rolls Royce. So I came back. I didn't listen to Rupert slightly. And I went to the composer that did all the radio. I went to the copywriter that did all the copywriting for Rupert. I said, gentlemen, let's edit finished films. Let's score it. Let's get Peter McLean, who's the voice in Peter Stuyvesant, and the Odomeester voice, and let's finish the films as I understand from having heard Rupert what they were like. So I called his secretary. I said, we'll bring them to the theatre. I said, we can't. It has to be on double head because it's unfinished. So he has to come here. So he sits down and we run, ba, bip, ba. This is the 24 jet hours to Hong Kong, 7 jet hours to so-and-so. This is the so we run the film. He quietly says, could I see that again? Run it again. Could I see Odomeester at the half-century wine exhibition? Odomeester was a judge, the best brandy. And the film was about chess, Chaturanga, Game of Kings. Could I see that again? I switch on the lights. He said, who made these? So I said, well, I'm the cameraman director. Colin Campbell is the composer for all your radio. Dieter Bertram is your copywriter. Yanni Mostert is your art director. I just pulled the team together and I said, let's try and see if we understood what you really wanted. So he walks to the door and he turns to me. He says, you really made these? I said, yes, sir. He says, you have my account. Now, I naively think he's talking about South Africa. I'm 23 years old. He says, I don't think you understand, Mr. Lazarus. I market in 54 countries. Get your passport ready. And so I worked with him for 40 years on an average of 14 brands a year, worked that out in a number of films. And all those 40 years, he and his team changed one shot in one film. And I learned massively about branding from a mentor like him. That's the story of Anton Rupert.
Now, Ashley, I want to go on. Can you turn off your microphone and your camera? Because I want to now screen a lollipop. And then we want to come back and talk to you about the magic that is a lollipop. So for those of you who don't have your tissues ready, quickly go grab. Sit back, grab some popcorn, take your tissues, and we'll see you at the end of the movie.
and the Lord's holy servants at such an unearthly hour. Only God be known. Ain't the night sacred no more? Who's there? Blessed Mary and St. Patrick, there's nobody there. Who's there? Oh, Lord save us. My hands are like ice. Tis not possible. Oh, you poor woman. Poor woman.
No. It's Jenny.
Her name is Yanni. In the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. Tis a child. A holy white child. Father, the child cannot be staying here. Over to the window with your child. Father, this is a black mission.
Sister, I am surprised at you. All children are God's children.
But the child is white. Sure, he can't grow up here.
Sister, the court has decided that the child is an abandoned orphan, and as such, we have every right to adopt him. And until the good Lord shows us another way, he will be brought up and raised here, together with all of us.
Father, that is tribal Africa out there.
It makes no difference what is out there.
No, but what is out there won't want a white child here.
Sister. Okay, there you are. This is Cash General who runs the store. Johnny?
Hello, Yanni. Come. Right. Donkey.
You know, Seppo.
Tumala Sebugai.
Johnny, this is Seppo's father. This is Jan.
Tumela Jan. We will call you Ngwana Luti, child of the mountains. Mama, O King Ngwana Luti. Hello, look. I brought a present for Johnny.
Oh, he looks like a sugar bowl. Thank you, Cash. Give it to Jan. I'll give it to him.
All right, then. Let's have a look at you. Well, I'll be blessed. You're a big boy now.
These are the food.
Morning, class. Maybe sitting, children. Morning, chicken. Bless you. Now, this morning I'll be after teaching you some of the English words that we use for animals. Any sort of animals, animals you know, animals that give you food, cows that give you milk. Now then.
Kayla, Leling Liuga.
Now, of all the wild animals, just good morning, Seppo.
Good morning, sister.
Right, let us be continuing with the lesson. Of all the wild animals, the strongest, is the lion. What is a kitao? Lion. Good children, that's right. Kitao is a lion. Now, he may not be the biggest, but he is indeed the strongest. Be standing, the two of you. You and your tricks. I'm thoroughly tired of you. Now be into your corners, the pair of you, and be reciting your tables till I get back. Naughty little devils. Go on then, be reciting.
2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 14. 12. Oh, 12.
I tell you, Father, I'll not be standing it another minute. They're uncivilized little demons, the pair of them. 'Tis time Yanni were sent away from here.
Sister, come, please. They are only boys. Well?
Go on, open it.
Christine, wait until I get my hands on those two. Ugh. Bend over.
Ow.
Down.
Ow.
Now it's your turn. Come on. That's enough. Now.
Dear Archbishop, I am writing to you with regard to the child.
You saw? Me too. Come, let's go to Rakwaba, the fix all. I'm scared of Rakwaba. Don't be scared of Rakwaba. He only witch doctor.
And therefore, I believe 'tis in the child's best interests that he be taken away from here. Lord, forgive me. I hope I'm doing the right thing. Good afternoon to you all. I wondered, would you be after posting this when next you go to Masiru?
All right, sister.
Thank you. The Lord be with you.
Mama? Mama? Bon. Iyako Archbishop. Archbishop? Itlilele sister.
All speak of evil. Lise Bilena, have you been evil?
Yes.
Lilela Shapua, you have been punished. Where is your pain? You?
You wish me to take pain away?
Yes.
Tutubalang, close your eyes. A weakened medicine. Retelehang. It will sting. Mashaba, kokobetsa. Mashaba, kokobetsa. Emang. Be good, or pain will come back. Samayang.
Kialibua.
Samayang.
Why doesn't Rakwaba like Father Alberto? They do not see the same. Oh. Come, I race you.
Father, it's to the Archbishop from the sister.
Thank you.
Dad.
Nadi police tal naik. Sama dilat. Kita meruta.
Let us say grace in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Bless us, O Lord, for these thy gifts which we are about to receive from the bounty of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Did you know that Yanni and Seppa went to see Rakwaba this afternoon?
Thank you, Luke. Did you? Why?
He gave us medicine.
Did it work?
Lieve Jesus, zag een keer. Angel of God, look out here, dear. To whom God's love commits his will. Ever this day at my side.
Madam, I visit you. Your kind makes more trouble than
You
good.
play wrong side, Cash.
But that's your part, Cash.
You are black. I am black. We do not need a white mission here.
But that's no.
Understand?
Go ahead, Lou.
I want cash for this oxen, Cash.
Those diamonds are stolen.
You sell them. And for the best price. Welcome back to our side, Cash.
Go on, read it then.
In helping to develop and educate the undeveloped nations of Africa, we offer the services of one of our volunteer graduates.
What's that rigmarole all
Sister,
about?
please, sister. In the case of no acting mission, Our volunteer is Miss Caroline Duxley, a social science graduate.
But who's it from?
The Peace Corps in Washington.
Peace Corps. Firstly, we are not a case. And secondly, we don't need her here.
Now, sister, why do you say that?
Duxley is a Protestant name, and this is a Catholic mission.
Sister, I don't know what there is about Ireland.
And what about Ireland?
It is where you come from.
And a fine place it is, too.
It may be a fine place, but if everybody in Ireland is like you, no wonder they have problems.
Father.
Sister, anybody offering to help this mission is welcome. We need the help. And if there are to be any problems, it is not because she is a Protestant, but maybe because she is a woman.
Father, may the Lord forgive you.
The Lord will understand. Father Alberto. And this is Sister Margarita, Miss Duxley.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, sister.
Come, let's meet the other people. Here we are. This is Seppo,
Hello?
Yanni.
Hello.
Over there is Cass General.
How do you do?
This is Thomas Luke.
Hello.
Oh, and very important, Sugar Ball.
Oh, hi, Sugar Ball. Oh, he's cute.
Well, shall we go? Come along.
This is my first trip to Africa.
Ah, hello there. How are you? Good to see you again. Well, you certainly have some luggage.
Yes.
I see you've come prepared for everything, huh?
Oh, I sure have. I've had shots for smallpox, yellow fever, bubonic, malaria, cholera, typhoid, even Asian flu. You don't have anything else here, do you?
I haven't heard of anything else, no.
Lord save us. And what's that?
Oh, that? It's a portable TV set.
TV? Why, child, we don't have any TV here.
No television?
No television.
It's hardly the sort of place you'd be used to, I'm be thinking. Meals are served in the kitchen. Breakfast at 7 o'clock, lunch at 12:30, and supper at 6. The bathroom's down there. Hot water runs only from 5:30 till 7 in the morning. Lights are switched on between 6 and 10 in the evening. This is your room. Here's toilet paper. Keep it locked in the cupboard. Has a habit of disappearing. The Bible.
What's a white child doing here?
They'll not be here for long, I'm thinking. Tea will be served at 4.
Poverino. It's only a pamparone, a common rock lizard.
Oh.
Maluti, nobody taben. Maluti, nobody taben. Maluti, nobody taben.
The Sutu call this place Mokokotlo Walefatsi, the back of the world. Dumelang. They are a lovely people with a fine spirit of survival. Our main problem is education. And, of course, a little overpopulation.
Father, why is a white child living here?
He is an orphan. We have adopted him.
Oh, well, I thought he was leaving.
No. This is Cepo's grandmother and his mother. Here, try this.
What is it?
They call it namayapudi.
It's good?
It's goat.
I don't like it.
Orphan king. What's orphan? It's when you have no mother or father. Are you orphan? Yes. No. Father Alberto and Sister Margarita, your father and mother. No. Father Alberto says I'm adopted. I even come from somewhere else. I even speak something else. What? Liebe Jesus. That's saying nothing. It does. It doesn't. It does. Sister Margarita, your mother. She isn't. She only do it. She only do it to you too. Yeah, no more.
I mean, why are you fighting?
We weren't fighting.
Hey, kids, where are we going? What's that?
Lizards and scorpions.
Lizards and scorpions?
Yes, come on, let's go.
Shh. What is it?
Hello, come on.
Ooh. You gonna catch it?
No, it's too big.
Good. Does it bite?
No, don't bite.
He wouldn't have bitten you. Oh, no, he wouldn't have bitten me. I'm glad that's over.
You. Snake.
Snake where?
Behind you. Don't move.
But now how come you can move and I can't?
Just like me.
Are you guys putting me on again? Oh, here we go again. What are you gonna do with it?
Give it to your Papa.
The witch doctor?
Yeah, he likes snakes. Come, let's go.
I really don't believe you two.
So you wish to know in what I believe? I believe in Batim, the spirits of my ancestors, for they speak. I believe in power of the Batim, for it lives in earth, in sky, and inside us. If you do not believe in something, you are nothing. And you, young one from America, what do you believe?
I believe in the brotherhood of man.
Those are easy words.
That's why I'm here, to do something.
What?
To help your people.
How?
To teach them. To help them help themselves.
You have children?
No.
You have men?
No.
Then you cannot teach. To teach, you must have experience. Woman without children, no experience.
That's not true. That's ignorance. And ignorance is what keeps your people backward. But education is knowledge, and knowledge brings progress.
You speak only from book. Book don't make children. Book don't make life. Life make life. Children make experience.
Experience you can get without having children.
That experience only of body. Children experience of life. You're young. You must marry and have children.
But that's only part of it. In our country...
You're not in your country. In Africa, if you want to be head, you must first listen. You're still young. Now go. You have done well, Tamayang.
Newfangled ideas here. The very thought of it. Birth control. May the Lord forgive her. Sure, they won't even know what she's talking about.
Sister, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. She will learn.
Father Alberto, do you know what you're saying?
Yes. Genesis, chapter 3.
Thank you. Ladies of Lesotho, I would like to talk to you about overpopulation and family planning.
Hey. What is that?
Excuse me. This is what we do in America to cut back on our families so we don't have so many kids.
Oh. That is not men talk. That is women talk, not for Thomas Luke.
But you must. Look, all you have to do is interpret. Now, translate.
Now, this
is overcrowding. Too many children. The car is too full. Overpopulation. Translate.
But the car is big.
It's the children we're talking about, Thomas Luke, not the car. Now translate, please. See? Smaller family, smaller car. Less money spent. Everyone much happier, huh?
How can a man with a smaller car be happier?
Just translate, Thomas, please.
Hey, ke a tseba. Impa motho ona ha tlala. O tswa America.
Right. Now, these pills are the answer to overpopulation. See?
What is pill?
This is what our women take in America so they don't have any more children.
Oh, but in Africa, children are everything.
That's your problem, Thomas Luke. Overpopulation. Now, help me, please. Take one a day, right? Okay. Please start handing them out. Give them to everybody. The instructions are on the back. Remember, one a day. The instructions are on the back. Understand? Oh, Luke, they didn't understand me.
Come. Now. It was good for you, eh?
No.
Did you ever bother to inquire whether Africa had its own form of birth control before you tried to impose your own?
Have they?
Of course. It is called self-control.
Come on, let's go. We run the house. That way. That's right. Okay.
Oh, the wall! It hit me! You two boys, vahele!
Ubatang, what do you want?
I want to learn more about the ways of your people.
Muhwa umung, sila adifapan. Always are same way. Only paths are different. Why are you not in America?
I've told you, I've come here to help.
Are there no people in America who need help?
Yes?
Why you wear men's boots?
So my feet won't hurt.
I like your men's boots.
Thank you.
Sit, I throw you bones. Maru, Malebakotsi. There are winds that speak of sorrows, darkness that speak of death. You must go. Wind, they come. Tamaya, go! Go!
Somewhere.
It's stopping. Huh? Come, let's go. Up, Chuba. Ready? You push. Hey!
Oh, malama ukay na.
Ubatang, abayo mon. Wala ubatang.
Patience then.
Mana, janili tepo.
I don't understand you. Be off with you.
Mana bakoti.
I don't.
Children in danger.
I don't know what you're saying. Be off with you, you pagan.
Bring father, children in danger.
Papa? Papa?
Kom, Janneman. Kom.
Hope for Yanni, Osi.
He's all right. He's alive. All right.
It was my fault. It was my fault.
Gently, gently.
Yanni! Yanni, what are you doing?
Holy Tengalezang. There's nothing I can do. Only medicine of white doctors may help him.
But the nearest doctor's hours from here.
We have little time.
It's his renal area, the kidneys. He must be operated on within 48 hours in Johannesburg. Yes? Yes? We'll call you back. Thank you. I'm afraid the senior renal surgeon is away. He's on an extended seminar in New York.
But can they operate without him?
Of course. But I must tell you, there's very little hope.
But if your best doctor is in New York, and with our doctors, he must go to America.
48 hours. We will never make it.
Yes, we will.
Move it, Hanson. We're going home.
Home?
By authority, U.S. Embassy, Pretoria. Mercy flight, one stop, New York.
Yes, sir.
Operation Mercy Monsieur. Any particular?
Tower to Mercy Monsieur. Prepare to take off. Runway 03. And may God be with you.
Hello, Stepo. Do not blame yourself. He is in God's hands.
I do not believe in God.
That is not true.
If God was real, why did he let such a thing happen to Yanni?
Only God can answer that, Sepo.
Why the hell won't you shut up? God damn it, move it, will you? Look, smart ass, I've been moving it all day long. Come on, maybe the other leg. Come on, Blackie, move, let's go. Come on, move.
With doctors Du Toit, Benson, and Stanton, please report to Emergency Theater 1 immediately. Repeat. With doctors Du Toit, Benson, and Stanton, please report to Emergency Theater 1 immediately.
Blood pressure?
Systemic rising.
Pulse?
Full of regular.
Scalpel, please. Credo in unum Deum, Patrem omnipotentem, factorem celi et terra, visibilium omnium et invisibilium, et in unum Dominum Jesu Christum, Filium Deum.
Wanaluti.
Artery. Clamp.
Dear God of white men, please help Yanni. He said you are his friend.
We're missing him too, you know.
Miss Duxley.
Yes.
Just sit. I'm Dr. Martin's tutor. This is Dr. Benson.
How do you do?
How do you do? How is he?
He's as well as can be expected.
The kidneys were very badly damaged. We had to remove the suprarenal glands.
What does that mean?
His system will no longer produce any of the adrenocortical hormones, a substance vital to the body.
We're replacing them intravenously. When he's able to, he'll take tablets.
For how long?
The rest of his life.
Dear Father Alberto and sister, so far the operation has been a success, but Yanni is still in a coma. I miss nothing. I will write again when there is further news.
It will take a long time.
I don't understand it.
Clinically, there's nothing wrong.
Seppo.
Seppo? What's Seppo?
It's the name of a friend of his. Back home.
A good friend?
They're inseparable.
We must get him here.
But where are we going to get the money?
Money? No problem. No problem at all.
Such business, huh? And the good Lord has forbidden it.
It's not that the Lord has forbidden it, it's just that the devil got it first.
Evening, everybody.
Kodwa uSteve Mawanga.
Evening, Mama Joy. Susie. Somebody got going. I heard you here, Father. Feeling your pockets.
Where's my money? Cash.
It's for the...
I don't care. Who is for?
Susie, drink. What is this?
It's a wallet.
It needs filling. Start with notes.
Stop, Mawanga, stop!
Please, don't touch. Try. Do not touch it.
Look at all this good money. Mine! It's money for tempo! Two of us!
Wait a minute, gentlemen, wait a minute. Please. No, please. No, please.
You never gave me a chance. Now donation.
But look at this, Ma. Look at Look at this. Come here, boy. Thank you. This way, gentlemen. 1, 2, 3.
Cash! But what's he going to wear? He can't go to America like this.
I've got it. American magazine. Make it just like this.
But where are we going to get the material from?
Got it. Aha! We'll make him a suit out of this.
But this is a blanket.
Mama, the way you know, nobody will tell the difference. I'll get the machine. Susie, stool. Aha! I told you you could do it, Mama. Look at him.
Oh, it's wonderful. Just in case.
Come, let's go.
Dumela ntate. Tlokwana. Ke metso ya lefatshe la eno. Le tla o tshireletsa. Tsamaya ka khotso.
Suid-Afrikaanse lugdiens kondig aan die vertrek van vlug SA 207 na Ildesol.
The stairs, they are moving.
Ecco, l'avevo dimenticato.
South African Airways announced the departure of their flight SA-207 to Ildesol and New York. Will all passengers please proceed to the International Departure Hall?
Wow, it's even bigger than the mountain.
Would you take the window seat first?
Jammer, op onthoud je. Dank je. Evening, Father.
Good evening. Nan?
Dames en heren, maak alsjeblieft uw zitplek gordels vast. Ons wens je aangename vlucht toe. Ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. We wish you a pleasant flight.
Wine, Father.
Thank you.
It's for you. Sonde.
Salute.
Coca-Cola.
TWA announced the arrival of their flight from Los Angeles to Chicago.
Welcome to the United States. Next.
Clearing immigration should follow through customs to exits 1 and 3.
Excuse me. Baggage? Right over there. Thank you.
Repeat, will Mr. DeMille please contact airport control? TWA announced the arrival of their flight from Paris, France. Passengers Morris and Coleman, please go
what's that?
directly to customs control.
That is nothing.
Well, let's look at it.
This is the final call for passengers on Pan American Flight 184. Passengers wishing to board this flight should go directly to Gate 9.
So there's nothing in there, huh?
Passengers on Pan American Flight 184.
Tell me, how is he?
He's all right, but now I think he's going to be just fine.
It's good, good. Pray for him.
Yes.
American Airlines announced the departure of their non-stop flight to Detroit. Passengers can check baggage at embarkation.
What are you doing trying to go in the girls' toilet? You're no better than that. Come on, what's with you? We've got to get home. Come on, let's go. Come on, boys. What's holding you up? Come on, boys. Come on, go on. Move it, move it. Find the seat. Come on, driver. Let's go home. All right, go on. Quickly.
TWA announced the arrival of their flight from Paris, France. Passengers Morris and Coleman, please go directly to customs control.
I wonder what is it?
final call for passengers on Pan American Flight 184.
Hey, man, where you get the funny suit? The suit.
What's that?
No, hot day.
No. What?
No, hot day.
Where's that at?
This room.
You ain't one of us.
Sure.
Yeah,
What's going on here?
He ain't not school. He ain't one of us.
Well, where you from, boy?
No, hot day.
Where?
No, hot day.
That's a funny talk.
Hush! You're not American, boy?
American.
Driver, first Harlem police station we come to, stop. We've got one on here that ain't ours.
Can I help you? Yes, we've lost a little boy. Could you please page Seppo Mashlomi? Seppo Mashlomi. Yes.
Stop! Where do you think you're going? Stop! Stop! Come back here! Stop! Stop!
Hey, dummy, you forgot your pen. Hey, dummy.
Hold the man down, come on! Easy, take it easy! Quick! Don't shoot! That's it, hold up! Hold it on the other way! Don't push off! What you looking at, man?
Central to all cars. Black child missing. Answers to the name of Seppo Mashlomi. Child comes from Lesotho, Africa. Any info, report to Central.
They've got two chances. Finding a little black kid lost in Harlem is like finding a snowball in Alaska.
9DL13, Roger. Units on 20, standby 9DL13, go ahead.
Hey, brother, you speak Lesotho?
Never even heard of the place, man.
1793, Roger. 9U1, come in, 9U1. 10824, Lehigh.
Oh, you're really on tonight.
There you go. Oh, I don't believe this, man. All right, man, come on. Nine, come on. Okay, man, go ahead. Take it. Hey, John, baby, I got my shine right here. Hey, kid. Hey, you want a shine? Hey, come on. You want a shine?
What do you have? What do you want?
You want a hamburger? With or without? Okay, without. One hamburger coming up. Sit down. $0.60. 60 cents. Hey, what are you trying to do? This ain't real money. You want me to call the cops? Do you? You want me to call the cops? Hey, Mac, you want a half a hamburger?
I'll get this one down here.
Okay.
Hey, kid, wake up. Come on, wake up, man.
Kid looks frozen.
Don't tell me you've been here all night.
Probably run away from home.
That what happened? You
Yeah, I
run
bet.
me home? Hey, shut! Hey! Hey, kid! Kid!
Will you look at this? These kids.
Hey, you kid, stop!
Hey, man, what do you want?
Get you right. I'm gonna get you. Hey, you kid! Hey, you kid! Stop! Hey, you kid! Stop! Hey, with a gun! Ima! Ima! What are you doing? I'm tired of you kids stealing from me.
What did you say?
Kinapin.
Is that Sesotho you're speaking? Hela, now what's Sesotho? What's ang mo na hell? Passing la America?
Some collagen, some talk, what card?
Central reporting from Bellevue, returning to 123.
Central to 237, acknowledged.
Hamba kahle Sipho. Izinto zonke sezilungile. Ukhonze ekhaya.
With Sister Regan, please report to Captain.
Dr. Toy, I'd like you to meet Father Alberto.
Hello, Father.
And this is Seppo.
Beloved Seppo, come in. Where did you find him?
And Mr. Angwani. It was a Zulu living right in the middle of New York.
Seppo. Yanni wordt wakker. You're waking Seppo.
Mwana Luti. Mwana Luti. Seppo. Seppo. I got something. A lollipop. A lollipop. Thanks. Is sugar bowl here?
He's still at the mission,
Father,
taking care of Sister Margarita.
sister.
Yes, General. Everybody, they all send you their love. You see, Doctor, he's smiling. Now that we are here, nothing in the world can stop him from getting well. Right?
Right.
Now, these are the replacement tablets you've been taking. Remember to take 2 every day and keep warm. You'll see to it.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure.
Here, Thomas, look. Here. Thomas, and you're not half finished. Hurry now, Thomas, look.
Oh, Hari Mataba, oh, Nali Petana. Oh, Hari Mataba, oh, Nali Petana.
Thanks be to God.
Here we are. Look at that. All right, sweetheart, that is enough. Come on, we're all out. Here we go.
Let's have a look at you. You're looking fine. So, you've been all the way to New York. Was that a party for you? Into the kitchen again, now. Welcome home, Father.
Zeppo, tell us about America, boy.
America? You're cool.
Oh.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Empire State Spelling. And over here, there is a big country named Fifth Avenue. Oh, there's something I'm forgetting. I saw a television.
What's a television?
Television is a box where people live inside.
Go on. Take them out. Hope they fit.
Men's booth. How was America?
Different.
It has changed.
No. I have.
Aha.
Aha.
Thank you for men's booth.
No. Thank you. Good. Try them on.
Father, please.
Well, sister, what is it?
Father, there's someone wishes to see you. A woman who claims to be Yanni's grandmother. Father, I have a confession to make. I told them the child was ours.
The child is ours.
No, Father. Ours.
Sister, open the door.
Father Alberto, I'm Dominee Wessels of the Dutch Reformed Church, Pretoria West. This is Mevrouw Pienaar, a member of my congregation. Mevrouw Pienaar is a widow. She had only one child, a son named Andries. He was married in 1961 to Anna Prinsloo. After they married, they moved to Kimberley. He was a digger. In August 1964, they disappeared. They had with them their young son, who was then about 3. For many years, Mrs. Pienaar searched, but nothing, till the newspaper. Die courant, mevrouw. Die courant, mevrouw. It was only when this picture appeared that Mrs. Pienaar knew her grandson was still alive.
But Dominic, with respect, what real proof do you have?
Die foto, mevrouw.
Where did you get this picture of Yanni?
Dis nie Jannie nie, dis sy pa.
It's not Yanni. It's his father.
You mean you want to take him away?
Yes.
But you can't take him away. You can't.
Sister, I think it is time for tea.
They want to take me away. Greta, what are you going to do? Let's run away to the diggings. No. Yes. No. Yes, you go get the donkey. No. Sorry, Sugar Ball.
Dominic, as you realize, we have grown to love this child as our own. His happiness is our only concern. On your wishing to take Yanni away from here, I do not sit in judgment, either on your people or your way of life. All churches lead to God. But here, Yanni has grown up in a society which, with respect, is different to yours. I ask you to consider, as a minister of God, can this child suddenly and without warning be switched from our way of life to yours?
Father, the love and guidance you've given this child is beyond question. But now that we've found him, it is our responsibility to raise him as one of his people. We cannot deny him his heritage.
And by raising him as one of your people, will he be happy?
Yes, Father, I think so. But the child is Mevrouw Pienaar's grandson. We must speak with her.
Mevrouw Pienaar, Do you wish to take?
Nee. Kom ons wag eers. Die tyd sal ons leer. And now, sister, I'd like to meet my grandchild. I'll be there, Jim.
Where's Thomas Luke?
He's waiting outside.
Excuse me.
He forgot his tablets.
Come on.
Suta, yani wanarudi tua, yani tua, wanarudi Frankie, حيوانة أسالة خوتة
Dear God.
It's all right, sugar. I'm coming. Dear God, hurry, sugar, hurry!
Careful!
We go back. Go. Yani, I keep you home. I keep you home. I keep you home, Yani. I keep you home.
Yani!
Yani!
Yani! Papa!
sugar boy.
Almighty God, who ordained the services of angels and men in a wonderful order.
Al gaan ek ook in 'n dal van doodskade weer, ek sal geen onheil vrees nie, want U is met my. U stok en U staf, die vertroos my. Amen.
Almighty and eternal God, who in thy mercy has called this child to thy side, grant, we beseech thee, that his soul may live in eternal peace in the kingdom of heaven, for he has given all he had on earth. Through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Greater love hath no man than this, that he lay down his life for a friend.
Lentswe la tshepo la khutsetsa ruri. Jwale Jane o setse a le mong.
Ashley, welcome back. Let's unmute you.
Gerald?
And Gerald is off mute.
That's amazing. Hi, Gerald.
Hello. I'm here. Ashley.
Lovely to see you, Gerald. Wow.
Lovely to see you guys.
So,
how are you feeling?
Before we get on to talk about the impact of the movie, I want to talk about the fact that sometimes movies with sad endings don't appeal to so many.
Can
And
you take me?
there's a Gerald, we can hear you. There is a different ending to that movie as well, because it was deemed inappropriate for an American audience to sob their eyes out.
Well, what happened was, unfortunately, money talks in this world to some degree, as you know. And America, and having lived there for a long time, America has, in a way, a very naive look at some sections of the world, not in all areas, and Universal Picture deemed that the American audience couldn't tolerate being saddened by the death of a black child. And I was so against them changing the ending for a very good reason, because the whole strategy of the film wasn't that it was not just about entertainment. It was about having children coming out of the movie theater, especially white children, crying for a black child. I mean, it wasn't a matter of white and black. We made a film where you fall in love with both children, one passes away. But for a South African audience, it was very important that emotionally, and which it did, it would hit South African children and they would cry. And they did. But America didn't stomach that. The powers that be felt they didn't even try to release it that way. So I got Muntu, the little black actor at the time, and I filmed him talking to the Americans to explain, sometimes sadness ends up as a bittersweet, because at the end of the film, if you notice, from the sadness, it sweeps into positive music, and it shows all the happy parts of the film, shows the love between the two children. So you leave the cinema, especially in the big cinema, you get the feeling, the memory of all the love and the sadness at the same time. It's bittersweet. And it would ring in your hearts for a long time. That's what I'd hoped. And that's what it did. So the Americans just didn't have the, whatever you want to call it, to take us. So they made a film. They cut the ending. They put a song in it, and they say, "He's alive." And then they sing a song, "Forever Young, Forever Free." So for those people who want a happy ending, they got it. I was very upset that they didn't leave it as it is, but that's the way of life. Universal paid the producers more than the cost of the film.
I'm getting a lot of interference on audio now. I don't know if anyone else is. If people can just tell us for a moment in the comments if they're also getting some crackling on Ashley's audio, which makes it hard to hear. So if you can just tell me. If so, I'm going to ask Ashley to log off and come back on. But if it's just me, then no, everyone's telling me it's okay. It's probably just me. So Ash, please go ahead.
Okay, so, the end result is that we've been inundated over the 50 years with people saying to me, we bored our eyes out. And the point of the film was to get especially white children. Now, I must tell you a strange story. I'm working on another film at the moment. It's not like Lollipop, but it's a sequel to be shot in South Africa. And somebody who's helping me in Durban was having lunch with somebody who was in jail with Nelson Mandela. And they were at lunch, and he said to this person, "What are you doing?" And the person said, "Well, I'm working with this guy, Ashley, and we're preparing to do another feature film." So he said, "Who's Ashley?" He said, "Well, did you remember the film in Lollipop?" And apparently the man had his knife and fork in midair, and he just froze. He said, "What do you mean? He made a lollipop?" He said, "Yes." He said, "You wrote it and directed it." Based on Andre's story, of course. But he said, "You don't understand. I was in jail with Nelson Mandela, and we had a 16mm running of the film in Robben Island. And when the film was finished, Mandela and I looked at each other. Mandela said, 'There's hope.' He said, the impact on me and Nelson Mandela at the time was at the height of apartheid, everything looked black. And apparently Mandela said to him, you must understand this is a light that cut through the darkness. A searchlight of hope is cut through the darkness, because underneath South Africa, I don't believe we really hate each other, said Nelson Mandela. So, just on that level alone, I feel the film has had a divine hand on it, put it that way.
So I want to, we don't have very long to speak, so I'm going to ask everyone to speak very quickly. But Gerald, I'm going to ask you, you're in London at the moment. How did the movie impact your life?
Oh, it was a huge impact on my life, because even after it was finished and edited, I was given the responsibility of taking it around South Africa for premieres. Now, you travel in South Africa in 1974, 75, with a black child, a white child, some black actors, and try and get accommodation in Petersburg, whatever it's now called.
Polokwane.
Whatever it's called, I did manage to facilitate that, either with money over counters or whatever, but I told distributors that if we can't all be treated, including the driver and Godfrey, who was the black casting guy who came with us, then we're not coming. That's it. And suddenly we had seats and we had rooms and it was fine. And for me, that was absolutely a miraculous thing to have happened. The film opened those doors. It wasn't me. And that's down to Ashley and whatever. But my life at that film carried on for at least another year.
Wow. I've got to just tell a quick story. Andre was terrified, he's Afrikaans, at the time that the censor board would give us a go. And I said to him, Andre, I don't think they're going to give us a go, because I think this film rises above apartheid. It's not critical. What it does is shows love between two children. So the censor board had to come to our cinema in Cape Town, not into a public cinema. And 12 of them came in all these black cars, and they came to the cinema, and Andre and I were standing at the back, and the film finished, and there was a dead silence, and 12 people stood up and applauded. The censor board of South Africa at that time applauded the film, and they said, this film shows the possibility of love between black and white. So that like Gerald just said, the film opened doors for him to get into hotels. The film opened the hearts of the censor board. Nothing was changed.
So actually, another call that we got was, in fact, from the Rubenstein family today. And David Rubenstein and Edward Rubenstein David tells us that his father and himself were funders of part of the movie.
They were. Some of the initial funding, I mean, Ed Rubenstein is a gracious man. And I was at law school with, I think he's his nephew, Lawrence Miller. And Lawrence said, Ashley is doing the screenplay and he needs some funding. And he graciously handed me a check and said, here we are, go and do your film. But the majority of the budget came from Andre and raising it from there. But the seed money, which is the most difficult of all monies, to help write the film, certainly came from the kindness of Ed Rubenstein. Thank you.
So Ash, also tell us, the two stars, I mean, they were superstars 50 years ago. Tell us what happened to them. Did they ever appear in anything again? Did they become actors? What was their future to hold?
Well, Montu, he tried to be an actor. He became a presenter, but before he went overseas to Spain, but before he did, he started to take drugs and went very much off the rails. And I remember being in Johannesburg getting a call late one night. He had been on drugs, stolen his father's car, his uncle's car, had crashed, flown through the windscreen and totally torn his face to pieces. And in the middle of the night, I found the top plastic surgeon in Johannesburg. And through the night, they repaired his face from scratch. But he went over, I think, to Spain, got into a bit of the wrong crowd, and eventually became pretty well a very bad drug addict. And at a point in time, he was so down, he was 78 pounds. The little white child, with Andre Peters's help, found him in a basement. And the reverse story happened. The little white child now saved in real life Montu's life. And he went through rehabilitation. He's now he's nearly 60, I believe. And he's a speaker, a motivational speaker. He's found religion. He's on the path. Norman has gone to Scotland. Norman, I don't think he ever went back into acting. I believe he went into teaching, and we've had difficulty relating to Norman lately. I don't know, he's going through something, but I've tried to phone him, and I just pray, because I sense something's a bit difficult for Norman at the moment. Andre's alive and well, and we reconnected a few weeks ago. So Montu's there, Norman's there. Some of the actors have passed away. The wonderful actress Bess Finney, Jose Ferreira's gone. But the film was a blessing. You can't look at it and say, we take credit. Some angel put their hand down and gave us the story, and then put ideas into our minds. That's the way I look at it.
So I want to talk about your next project, because you call your next project potentially a sequel to this. And I just want to show people maybe a very quick maybe video. Let me just check that I have sound on. Yeah.
Lightning struck twice. We found another fantastic black actor he looks 12 years old, but in fact in life he's 28 years old. And his life story.
I just got back from filming in South Africa. That's an absolutely stunning country. And there's a beautiful philosophy. It's Ubuntu that originated there. And it is the idea that humanity is based on the plural, not the singular. Ubuntu means essentially, I am, because we are. And so I thank all of you. And I am, because you are.
This short video is a pre-production look at some of the locations, visuals, and talents featuring in the upcoming South African feature film called Teacher Wanted, a film based on the principle of Ubuntu. Teacher Wanted is the story of one caring, remarkable teacher confronting the challenges of a class of students that other teachers had given up on. Teacher Wanted, presently in pre-production, won the President's Award for Feature Film Development in South Africa.
So Ashley, when does that happen?
When does it happen?
Yeah.
Well, the Department of Trade and Industries we've checked all the boxes, and it looks as though we're going to get 25 million rand from them to make it. We have promises from the KZN Film Commission, but we have to raise matching funds. So we're in the process. We're setting up pre-production, but we have to raise half the budget from distributors or investors internationally or in South Africa in order for us to roll the cameras. So I can't give you a date. It's all ready to go, and it's the ubiquitous, and in Israel they say, ein kemach, ein lechem. If there's no flour, you can't make bread. So we're waiting for a little bit of flour so that we can get on and make the film. And the lead actor in this is fantastic.
I just saw the lead actor flash upon my screen, so he's logged in. Tembe, if I can ask you to put on your camera, we'd love to absolutely meet you. And let's get you unmuted as well. Tembe, big welcome to you.
Hi, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. No one's ever called me sir before, so I'm amazed.
Love you to meet you, Howard, and everyone else that has been watching the stream. It's been such an incredible ride, man. Ashley, how's it, sir? Good to see you. You well?
Yeah, well.
So
what a
Tembe,
beautiful movie.
Tell us a little about yourself, Tembe, because many people may not know you, but you're not as young as you look.
No, quite certainly not. Ashley found me when I was much younger. I was 28 years old, and now I am 33 years old, married to a beautiful wife of 5 years now. And, it's just been such an incredible ride with Ashley. I'm actually a filmmaker in South Africa, and I've been involved in a number of projects, particularly in early childhood development. There's another little short film that we did called Ntunjambili, which is based it's two kids acting together in a cave, and we're telling short stories, so I've been in the industry now for close to maybe 25 years, 20 years odd. So it's been a bit of a while, but yeah, it's been such an incredible joy, meeting up with Ashley, working on, TJ and Pals, which is another project that we've been busy developing on the side. And it's just been so amazing. So I've had a good run in the industry, and I can't wait, for you guys to see Teacher Wanted. Ashley and I actually worked on it together. And he's been mentoring me, we just watched right now, a classic film. I wasn't born yet when Your Lollipop came out, but I've learned so much about the power, of resilience, about the power of storytelling. And Ashley is there's no other mentor that I think I would have found to actually show me the ropes in modern day filmmaking, with the vast knowledge that he has in cinematic techniques and so many other things. So I could go on and on and on. But yeah, that's a little bit from me.
Tell us a little about the plot of the movie.
All right. So the basic plot of the movie, obviously currently I'm sitting down, but if you would take a look at me, I would say I'm about 1.2 meters or so. So the whole entire plot of the movie is you have this guy that's coming in, to enroll basically in this position of wanting to be a teacher. Now, when you look at me and teacher, those two don't actually mix, So the main plot is you have this guy coming through looking as short as I am, saying, hey, I'm here to be a teacher. And one of the receptionists look at him and he's like, are you sure this position is for a teacher? You look like a kid. And he's like, no, I'm here to apply. So he goes in there and he applies, and he takes this unruly classroom, a couple of misfits and, the odd kids that we see around us in our neighborhoods. And he actually uses the power of transformation. He uses, his life lessons that he has learned, and he turns these young misfits into a bunch of superheroes and champions. And he basically gets them educated in a very dynamic and interesting way. And I really think that a lot of our viewers, are going to take that with them, and they're going to think, how is this even possible that this kid can teach, all of these kids and help them to see life for what it is. And that's part of my real life story. And that's the beauty of what Ashley does with a lot of his films. With Muntu Ndebele, he integrates a part of who you really are. So going into this film, there's a lot about me that the audience is going to learn and understand, some of my highs and lows. and the things that have really brought me to who I am as a young adult in a thriving and growing South Africa today.
That's amazing. Ashley,
Yeah.
another beautiful story. I want to just quickly show a minute or so of Themba actually on screen, because you've sent us your sidekick project, just so people get a sense of what a 33-year-old looks like, and when you're maybe a little shorter than most.
Yeah.
But let's actually look at that.
Hi, I'm Timbantuli. And I'm Sisale Tivula. And we're here to tell you about the Early Education Foundation and the enormous challenge that South Africa is facing.
In SA today, nearly 5 million children ages 6 and under get no preschool education whatsoever.
That's true, with unemployment for young people in South Africa presently standing at over 50%, and 75% of children being born each year having no chance of getting a preschool education.
So just kind of almost a little snippet of seeing Themba in action, and an absolute privilege to be able to work. But actually, I want to ask one question, because they say to us that no director should ever work with kids and dogs. And of course, Lollipop was kids and dogs. And now it looks like you're going back to the kids. I don't know if there are any dogs in the movie. Aren't you, in fact, you causing yourself a lot of grief in life by the topics you're selecting?
I think it's all about your attitude. If a director, it becomes a kid, so to speak, with the kids, and you treat the whole film as something, a game between each other. I personally love working with kids. When I was in America, I worked for years with Mattel on their early childhood on Sesame Street and Disney. And that's what the project that Themba's talking about is, an early education project based on animation, and it's interactive. So working with kids is, I think those are directors who themselves are not open enough, or perhaps bring themselves down to. I was shooting a film for M&M's on ice hockey, junior ice hockey in Canada, and not M&M, sorry, 3M was sponsoring junior ice hockey in Canada, and the ad agency wanted a young athletic coach, like an Olympic ice hockey coach, and I said, may I bring in a couple of older people, perhaps with a pot belly and going bald? And bottom line is, we got the auditions with the kids, and they said, oh, that Olympic guy, he's perfect. I said, can I just show you this one again? And so we showed the older man. I said, look at the two carefully. And they looked at it, and then they suddenly realized. I said, do you realize what went on here? In the younger athletic guy, he was standing talking to the children. The older man got on his knees and looked eye to eye to the children, and they could relate to him. And there was no question, that's the guy who got the part. So the point is, if you open yourself up to understand children and be with children, I find no problem. I love it.
So I want to do kind of one round of the panel of last comments, and then I'm going to show you one additional project that Ashley's working on, and then we'll wrap up. But Gerald, tell me what your favorite memory is from the Lollipop era.
Oh my God. It was just really being involved in it. I mean, that was a hell of a production. And I don't think the Heimville Hotel in Natal ever got over it. Actually, if you're going to shoot in the Drakensberg, make sure you stay there again. But anyway, no, it was just an absolutely amazing thing to have worked on. And my relationship then with Ashley continued into his influencing me to join a production company where he directed in South Africa, and finally, after that, I ran the company in South Africa came to London to work for it up until some years ago. So Ashley has been, even though absent in the last number of years, was certainly a huge influence. So Ashley was that. However, I just want to tell you just maybe a little anecdote. On the 16th of March 1975, while I was wearing a suit and tie, and there was a talit outside in the garden being a chuppah, and I was waiting to marry my wife, Anita, I was sitting on the telephone with Andre Peterson discussing distribution of the film. Until I had to say to him, Andre, for God's sake, I'm getting married. He said, go. I mean, it was that was the involvement that he expected that I was prepared to give. And it just was a huge privilege to have been part of it.
And Gerald, Ashley tells us that your wife as well was involved in the production.
She was art director of certain parts of it. There was a younger art director who did quite a lot of the stuff in Natal, Drakensberg, and Lesotho. And Anita did some interior medical scenes in South Africa and some other things as well. So yes, she was also pretty involved in it. And interestingly, Anita's late father, who was a doctor, was the medical advisor. He came on as a volunteer advisor for all the medical scenes that we shot. So it's the whole family do. And yes, Anita's a fantastic art director, production designer, and is an unbelievably talented painter here in London. So yeah, here we are.
And Ashley, tell us how this all changed your life.
Well, first of all, you know, it says in the Torah, it says you've got to be Tselem Elokim. That means you've got to be in the image of God. And, you know, I lost my wife last year. I don't know if Gerald knows that. I think he does.
No, I don't.
She passed a year ago, Gerald. And she took over as the wardrobe mistress, if you remember. So I prayed to God and thank him for the wife that I had, a remarkable wife, and for everything he's done for me, the creativity. My daily prayers include thanking for everything. And I thought, what does Tselem Elokim mean? Because at a point in time, I sort of had to stop and look at my life being very successful in film and materialism, but what was I doing about my spirituality? So I discovered that there were two balance sheets. You know, I was an average Jewish guy in South Africa. You know, we went to shul on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, but we didn't keep the halacha. You know, we were traditional South Africans. And once I realized that there was a spiritual balance sheet and a material balance sheet, I sort of turned slightly left and walked away from the movie industry in Hollywood and didn't want to go there. And how it impacted on my life was this. I was thinking about Tselem Elokim and the amount of joy and impetus that film has given me in my career and emotionally and to my family. I was thanking God, and then I realized Tselem Elokim means you don't just thank God. God says you've got to emulate me, and I am only goodness and kindness. So I thought, who in the world has helped me? And one of them is Gerald, for which I now thank you again, Gerald. I decided to pick up the phone to Andre Peterson. Now, we had parted ways slightly over the years. We'd done another film together. It wasn't comfortable between the two of us. Then when he did a follow-up to A Lollipop of the Children's Lives, I didn't direct it. He got another director. And I thought Andre really opened an opportunity for me to take a risk on me and give me the chance to write it and direct it and allow me to edit it, and helped. So I picked up the phone and said, Andre, I'm phoning you socially to thank you for all these years of A Lollipop. And he said, really? I thought you were a bit upset with me. I said, no way, Andre. So A Lollipop has been a jet engine of goodness, of positive relationships, and has given me the confidence to believe in myself. Don't forget, creative people sometimes worry about themselves. And I think Lollipop on all levels, and at a point in time, even helped me. I sort of said to myself, you wrote things like only God knows. How would you write that when you were secular? So I think it was part of a journey that pushed me into looking at a more spiritual path in my life, and that's it. It's been a joy and a help and a jet engine in our lives. That's it.
Well, I want to thank everyone who's joined us this evening. I think it's been just such a wonderful, memorable evening, such a nostalgic moment. Themba, you are our future star, so we so look forward to seeing you in the next movie. But I would like everyone who's still watching us this evening on Zoom, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, just to leave a message about what in fact a lollipop meant to you. And as we do that, I'm going to play out with one of the side projects that Ashley's involved in. And that is, I know there's something that you're doing with Rabbi Beryl Wine, but you've also been putting together something relating to Maimonides. And just as people leave us one last message this evening, I'm going to ask if we can play out with just one of your Maimonides tracks, because I think it's important then and when it happened, and it's an important message for today as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're going to turn off cameras and audio now, and we'll play out with that.
Recently, in a studio in New York, Leonard Nimoy, Armand Assante, and a cast of leading voice actors assembled to record the soundtrack for an animated and illustrated film on the life of one of the most unique men in medieval and world history. His name is Rabbeinu Moshe ben Maimon, the Rambam, or as the world knows him, Maimonides.
The Almohads! The Almohads are coming!
The Almohads are coming!
In 1147, the fanatic Muslim Almohads, determined to conquer and convert Spain, advanced on Cordoba.
They have entered the city.
The children! The children! Mercy! May heaven have mercy!
Jews of Cordoba, you have a choice. Convert to the true faith, or go into exile. Those Jews who choose to stay must convert, or die.
It's the Torah!
No!
In 1154, Maimonides and his family sailed from Spain to Tangier, Morocco, and settled in Fez. Wherever he lived, in Spain, in Morocco, in the Holy Land, and eventually in Fustat, Old Cairo, where he became the physician to Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt, he was beloved and respected not only by his own people, the Jews, but also by Muslims and Christians. He is the first philosopher to rationalize and unify religion, God, and philosophy into a living and understandable synthesis.
Rambam, The Story of Maimonides, a Beryl Wine Destiny production.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you, Howard. Yeshakaf.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, Themba.
Cheers. Good night.